Barefoot Bruisers. I'm Sawtooth Dave. And y'all sitting in the shop bullshitting. It's actually Sunday morning, early as hell. So I cut the AC off so y'all can hear me a little better. When I watch these videos back, the AC drives me crazy. I appreciate y'all dealing with it, but if I don't do them early in the morning, it's just ridiculous. Even early in the morning, it's pretty ridiculous. It cooled down to 100 degrees yesterday, and it for real was a cool down. It felt way better at 100 degrees. So it's been crazy already. Because of the heat, I don't know. Maybe, some of it's maybe age, some of it just maybe like not being from here, but like the heat for myself, when I get that hot, I just can't think straight. Like I had that problem when I worked as a machinist too. Like in the summertime, sometimes I just have to put stuff down, walk away, and then make a decision and come back. Like I just have to stop the machine, walk away, cool down, and come back. Like my brain doesn't function right. I can't make the right decisions. And why I tell you all that is, I showed you last week that was pretty close on this CRK, but I didn't like the detent, so I remade another lock bar insert. Well, if you can see me that box, or bag rather, this is the 5th one I made to get one that I'm finally kind of happy with. So I think we're going to heat treat this one and see what happens. So it's been that kind of week. So yeah, they're not the easiest thing in the world to make, but I did blank a bunch of them so that when I screwed one up, I had another one to kind of jump onto and get to a advanced state already. It was just a lot. I think it was Brother Doug mentioned it last week that some of the CRK stuff's a little silly, and I agreed. But to kind of, I guess, rewind and kind of explain myself a little bit on this. So the CRK thing was I never intended to make a skinny blade anything. So it was just one of those things that kind of sort of, I had sold Billy a knife a while back, and he was wanting a different blade. He was talking about reblading it from maybe possibly CRK, which he still can do, no problem. I didn't modify his knife, and that's the reason I didn't modify his knife, because I wanted to keep it stock. So if he did make that decision, he could. And secondary to that, I already sent him another real and cozy blade. So if he decides the one I made is not good, or prefers a stock one, he can put it back in there. And that's the main reason I did that to that knife. When doing that for that knife, I had enough steel to make another knife. So when I screwed that other blade up, I decided to make this a inserted frame lock, like instead of the ball lock up, but make a steel lock bar insert for it. That's the main thing. I've never done this before. So the whole process of getting to here was probably a bad decision in doing this, but I'd already made that decision and decided I was going to try to save the steel and use this instead. So this was out of warranty, or not warranty. What do you call it? Is it warranty? Yeah, it was already void. The warranty was already void. So by screwing this one up, it's already screwed up. So I didn't really cause any more damage than what I did. And as I mentioned before, I didn't plan on doing anything skinny before. So that's why this got a nice big thick blade. This is probably the smallest, least bruisery thing that you'll see out of me coming forward. I'm tired of this project. I'm ready to get it over with, but at the same time, I want it to be cool enough that I can look back on it and go, okay, at least I did cool with it. The Zon was another one that was had the blade stock. It was kind of what was left of the blade stock. I was trying to make it work. So that was all me trying to make it work with what the materials I had, kind of thing was. Super happy with that Zon. That was one of the ones when I was doing it, I was criticizing, and then I got to see it again at Blade Show. Denise showed it to me again at Blade Show. I was like, cool, it's still a cool knife. It's the thin stock, but those are probably the only two that I'm ever going to do that's going to be thin like that. So for me, personally, to explain what I was trying to say is, this was a learning curve for me, because not only did I use the rare steel, and not rare steel, but the steel that I probably won't be using a whole lot more of, which is K390. Not that I'm opposed to the steel, it's just I've never found it in the thicknesses that I like. So until they start chucking out 3/16 or bigger K390, it's probably not a steel that I'm going to be using, just because it's thin. And most of the people that use it for slicey stuff. So this was a learn curve and a push in advance to a different thing, which is the lock bar insert and, modifying the CRK, which I've learned a lot from the CRKs. I like a lot of their design choices. So moving forward, when I do my own stuff, I might incorporate some of that in. So this next one I'm going to show you is still a work in progress. So please, realize it's not done. But it's on the same vein as that learning curve thing. So it's been a while back. Yeah, I can't remember how long ago it was, but it was before I was really comfortable doing compound grinds. And Cargo Chris always has been a challenge. Always likes to challenge me, or always had liked to challenge me when I was kind of on the up and coming and trying to learn and push myself to that next level. So he had me do a Tanto conversion and then a compound grind to that. I think it was a Wrath. I think that's what this is. But I rebladed this one because the other blade was just, it just wasn't good. And he tried to, make what I did better. And between the both of us, it really needed a new blade, put it that way. I'm not even gonna bother showing you the other one because it was so beyond what it was from a factory that I couldn't even use it for a blank to basically get the bottom. I look for, like, when I'm doing a reblade, the two main things that I start on was basically, first of all, you got to throw the pivot in it, and you got to stop an open position. So like this one is a hidden track. So the hidden track inside, which I struggle with my own knife, this one here, I struggle with that because I didn't really have the equipment to do it. And so I wanted to try it with this one. It's better, but it's still not where I want it to be. But I pretty much know that the table I got is not really set up for what I'm trying to do with it. So another rotary table could improve the process. But it's a step in the right direction because it's way better than what that one turned out to be. And the main other thing that I look for when I do reblade is I want to make as much steel as I can at the bottom of this. And I can worry about the shape after the fact, but I want to kind of maximize whatever I can. So this is obviously, if you didn't know already, this is an integral. So like I can't open it up to look to see what I am. That's a challenge because that's usually, for me anyhow, that's how I do it. I blow the knife apart, kind of trace the steel for what I got for the maximum amount of material, and then I can kind of sort of draw the blade and figure out what I want. A lot of people pre-plan what they want to do for a blade. That's not me. I just kind of draw on the steel, kind of whittle away until it fits in here, and then let's see what blade shape to come up with. So this may not be what this final blade shape is on this one, because right now it's kind of more of a a drop pointy, I don't know, more spear pointy. I don't know, because the tip's kind of high still, but it may turn into a Tanto because that's originally what he wanted. So I was kind of thinking like an aggressive Tanto, like a higher tip Tanto kind of thing for more thrusting in kind of thing. But this is where we're at so far. I was gonna do the triple holes in this one. I want to do something different, so I did the counterboard hole. I may still do something different. I may blow that hole out to the 1/2 inch and just do one hole through. I don't know. On this side, I did put the fuller high, which kind of looks weird with just, on this side, it's got the 2 holes. This side's just a single hole. So I may blow that out bigger, just make that one big hole. I do like the fuller size and position, but it looks weird with the hole. It looks like it should be lower to me. So I don't know if I'm going to put like another groove in it, or I don't know. Well, wait and see. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with that one. But as far as the reblade parts of it go, I think it's pretty much ready for heat treat at this point. Obviously, nothing's done here, and edges are just rough. This is basically because the inside of this, which I really can't show you other than maybe right in there, is there you go. It's radiused in here, so this is just clear. I just did that so it'll clear I'm trying to maximize that. So it'll clear. Like I can make the blade shorter and lower the tip, right? But I don't want to. I want to maximize that whole. That's my whole thing. Is I try to. A lot of the manufacturers, let's see. Yeah, let's use the DSK. It's not a great example, but you see the tips back, 3/16, 1/4 inch. I tell you, by the way, in case you didn't know. So I'll try to make that tip go as much as I can in there. So you can still see, like, from edge back, it's back far enough where you're not going to get your finger cut in there. But if you feel this, it's pretty close to that same, as much length as I can get in. I could probably have gotten a 1/16 more of it, but then you probably could feel the tip here. So it's a compromise, but trying to maximize the best I can with the length of this. And this is just a work in progress. And like I said, I'm trying to develop skills for the future. So that's kind of the reason why I chose to do this one. And obviously it's a thicker blade. So once again, we're at the over 3/16 kind of blade thickness, which is kind of like the 3/16 is going to be kind of like my minimum, I guess is what I'm going to look at, blade thickness. And I'm probably going to do everything bigger than that, like that size and bigger, pretty much like DSK. Like I'm not seeing any skinny blades coming at him. That's pretty much like, y'all know he's my favorite maker. Like just most of the stuff that I pick up from him, either it's the stuff that's really not interest to me, like the zip flip or whatever. When I pick it up, I still enjoy it. I still like that knife. I still like his style, and that's pretty much, you know, like you can't really like. It's just something it is, right? Like if you like his stuff, you like his stuff. If you don't, you don't. Well, this week I got a unique opportunity because a friend of mine bought a knife from them, and they kind of, I'm gonna call it the dirt warning. They did a dirt warning. They bought the knife and had it sent to me before they got it, which was for me first time that's ever happened. And the person don't want to be mentioned, so I'm not gonna mention them. But it was a very unique experience, right? So, as I fail it, kickstand Gen 2. Y'all know this one's not, I like my full-size kickstand a little bit better, mainly because the cutout here, I'm not super fond of that cutout, but I think this is a bitchy one, man. Look at that bronze with that bull groove, or the ball groove, really, going this way, and you did the little ones this way. So, like, I think that's just a cool, overall, like, I'm not a color person. Like, I don't like a lot of different colors, but for whatever reason, this bronze and the acid stonewash just works for me. Like, I think that's a bitchy looking knife. It's an awesome looking knife, and to have it, like, and experience it before they even do, it's really weird. Like, I can see Dirt getting them because he does such a good video quality. Like, they ain't get no good video quality from me. I'm just holding up in front of a camera, or phone rather, and go, look at what I got, but it ain't even mine. So this one does have a little bit of a late lockup, or late detent. So this is breaking the detent, and there's a pretty hard, it's a big detent. There's no way to really show it in there. Maybe not. Okay. So when you get to this point, it's a hard shelf. Like you can see me just force it over there, but when you get to this point, it's not like it rolls over like a normal knife. It's a big detent. I want to say, looking at it, it's either a 3/32 or 1/8 inch. I'm gonna guess it's an 1/8 inch ball in this one. So it's like, if you don't know the difference, like that. It's not just the size of the diameter, or the size of the diameter, it might stick out. It does too, like how far it sticks out of the titanium. Like, it makes a big difference, especially in that transition. But I'm breaking it in. So no, I think it's a badass knife. It just has that. That's the only thing that's like a little bit more, gonna make a little more breakups, that a break in rather, is that little transition to get on the blade from the detent. But what a cool experience. Like, it's not my new knife, but it's still a brand new knife, and it feels like a new knife experience to me, because, like, you know, you go through that little phase when you first get the knife where you can't put it down and you're just messing with it. Like, I get to do that and send it back, or send it over to them, but it's not mine. So, like, I don't know. It's fun. Like, for me, I really enjoyed the process. Like, I know I didn't do it any justice, like, get it sent to me first, but hey, it's still a cool experience. And then, like I said, like, part of me is like, you know, I got to experience the new knife, so it's really cool. I dig it. Back to Carco's knives, because this was got loaned in for me. He just loaned it in and check it out. It's a maker I'd never heard of, so, like, I figured I'd throw it out there for you guys in case any of you guys can find any information on him. Like, I didn't find anything on him. David Winch, I believe is the guy's maker's name. So this is long and skinny. So, like, it's not, the skinny part of it is what bothers me. It was like that. What was that blade called that Evan loaned me? I know I've had a couple of them come through here. Was it Moorish? Yeah, Moorish. Same thing with them. So, like, you know, it's a more of a normal person's big knife. Leave it at that. So, like, that's kind of what I'm looking at this way. It's kind of a more normal person. You know, not all of us are heathens and want to carry big old bricks in our pockets, but, you know, those of us that are, you know, we just like what we like, and that's pretty much what it boils down to. Sorry about the shitty flip, but I thought it was very interesting. It kind of looks almost Steve Ryan-ish to me. If y'all know who Steve Ryan is, he's a fellow Arizonan. He did all the, remember Surefires making knives. He was the main dude doing all that. I'm pretty sure he designed all that stuff. But that interesting pattern, like the whole pattern, I kind of dig this. I wish it had more traction, because I could, you know, that there would be sick to me. But what a cool knife. You know, it's definitely different, definitely unique. But I dig it. I dig it for what it is. Once again, high tip on this one too. Cool style. I like the style a lot. But David Winch, I've never heard of him. Obviously, this is a lefty, so this screws my brain up. When was that blade? Donnie Bless had made a lefty, and I love the knife, but it was a lefty, so, like, every time I pick it up, I'm going to try to undo the lock bar, and it's on the wrong side, so I got to push instead of pull. So it's just mine. It's like, to get over it, like, I know that if I ever make a lefty, it's going to mess my mind up big time, and I'll probably have to make a righty to make a lefty. I'm guessing I'll probably make two at the same time, because it'll mess my mind up doing it. But anyway, Cool knife to check out. Like I've never even heard of the maker or anything like that. So if y'all know of anything about this maker, if you're still making knives or anything like that, let me know, because I'm kind of curious. One more to show you, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Like I said, it's kind of early Sunday morning. I gotta do payroll and get to work, so I have a limited amount of time. I'd mentioned at Blade Show I didn't get a lot of knives, and I had some money squirreled away. I wanted to do some, I sold a bunch, working up into the, the couple months before that, and working up into it. Some were charity knives, some were just sold. But my collection got down to like below 30. So I was like, well, that's great. And that's kind of where I want to keep it. But, I kind of want to keep it. And, you're a collector. So, yeah, it didn't work out so well. So, depending on how you count, I think I have 34 here. And there's 2 more on the way. Kind of, sort of, I don't know. You'll see. So, 36. I'm almost up to 40 again. 40 is my hard number. I'm going back to that hard number again. And that don't include the wife's knives, but 40. Anywho, a long story. I didn't really anticipate buying one of these, but Steve was here visiting. We went up to D&K. We were playing around D&K. And I'll honestly tell you, that's the first time I messed with the Spydercos, because I've never been like I gotta get me a Spyderco. But they have their advantages, right? They're uglier to me. I don't find them like visually that appealing. But they do a lot of different steels, and the steel thing is something like, if you care about it, you do. If you don't, you don't. It seems pretty much line in the sand stuff. Like, a lot of people care about that stuff, and a lot of people are like, why do you care? As a maker, you learn more about different steels. So you learn, like, process-wise behind the scenes, like what I'm doing to heat treat one, what, a higher vanadium steel feels like on the grinder, and like there's a bunch of different reasons why. Like you gotta kind of investigate and learn more. So, like, honestly, as a user, I probably would have never got into the steels. But as turning into like more of a maker and learning more about the steels, I did kind of geek out a little bit on steels, and I am kind of learning more and becoming more. And y'all might have heard that Crucible is no more, and they've sold like the patents to like S30, S45. They all went to like, they didn't all go to one place. Some went someplace was other place. I think Niagara got most of them. I think they have to rename them, but they own the copyright, so I think they can do what they want to with it. So we'll see what I'm sure they're going to rename it, but we'll see what they end up naming. But the 15V is the factory at Crucible was the only one that can do the temperatures for 15V. So 15V is not, you're not going to see any more 15V. Whatever's been made, unless they find somebody else that can do 15V. The guy from Niagara said there's not going to be any more. So with all those things put together, Brother Nunface was selling a 15V Military 2, which I kind of liked when we were with Steve, back to where I was talking about D&K. I kind of liked, there was a Military 2. There was a lockback version that was kind of very similar to this. I don't remember the name of it. And one other one, I don't remember what the name of that one was either. And I was kind of like, I liked all 3 of them. But I think the lockback was Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken. And this was American, so, that kind of sort of went out. Also, as I mentioned, from Brother Nunface, got these. So he already had the scales, I believe is rock scale designs, something like that. I can't remember, but they're titanium. They're pocketed, so they're not like full weights. It still pretty much feels weight wise about the same, but it's titanium. So overall package, this is pretty much exactly exactly how I would dress one out if I was going to buy one. Like, ideally buy one, and what steel I'd buy it in, and how I would probably make it all do. I mean, if I was carrying it, I might care about the pocket clip, but honestly, this is going to be a letter opener. As I mentioned, I got to do paperwork. Well, what's a good way to open an envelope? This one, and pull right through. So, like, I got to do a lot of that crap. Honestly, I do. And the bruisers ain't the best at doing that shit. I ain't gonna lie. Like, like some are better than others, but they're, for the most part, you stick over a 1/4 inch or around a 1/4 inch blade into an envelope, and it just rips it. It really don't split it. It's not really cutting it. It's more like, part the seas. So this is a glorified, expensive letter opener for me. But it's as a guy, I just wanted it. I don't know. It's one of those things, man. Like, I can't. Do we all justify our purchases? No, hell no, we don't. So I wanted it, so I bought it. That's why I got it. And it came from a cool dude, and it has a lot of cool like throwback for me. Like as I mentioned, like kind of reminds me of hanging with Steve at Don's shop. So like all those things, I would have liked to have bought one from Don. It just, well, you know, it worked out how it worked out. I'll buy something from Don soon enough. Like, let's see what else I got to show y'all. I think that's probably about it. Like it's been brutal hot, and the brain ain't been functioning 100%. I want to do the reblade on that Fierce for Prey. I want to do a reblade on this one too. I decided that pretty much like I wanted to, that's what I was kind of alluding to about processing. I want to, yeah, I can talk about that for a second. Sorry about the mess behind me, but as you can see, it's you know, I got time. I jump in and jump out. That's I ain't really spent no time cleaning. But anyway, the thought is to do more than one or two at a time as far as the heat treat goes, because once I get the cryo, everything I'm doing at this point, I'm going to use the cryo. Well, if you got it, you might as well use it, right? So it makes sense to do multiple at a time, so you're not wasting, you know, your cryo, because that's basically 40 bucks, 40 something bucks the last time I filled it up. I think it was like, yeah, let's just call it 40 bucks. Excuse me. So I may do at least 3-4 nights at a time, you know. So I want to do that reblade, and I'll heat treat the Chris Reeve, the Nkosi, the Heretic, and that Fierce for Prey, probably all at once. Luckily, all these are going to be 3V, so all the recipes should be the same. I've never done 3V. Everybody's got their own preferences of how they heat treat. I just basically followed the book. The book from Larry and Thomas is what I'm just straight down the middle on that most of the time. Occasionally, I'll hit up like Steve, because, you know, he's or not Steve, I'm sorry, Shane. I'll hit up Shane because he's doing a lot more heat treats than I am. He has done a lot more heat treats than I am, and he knows the results. And also, he's buddies with whatever that dude's name is. I can't remember the big guru guy. Well, actually, he's friends with most of the guys that do a lot of heat treat and stuff. And I've not really climbed up on that to learn more other than the basics. I'm still at basic level. So I've basically just taken the recipes that those guys have and trying to apply them to what I have. And some of their like thought processes are like, they want to push it to that higher RC to a point where they start seeing failure. So they have tests that they're doing. So I'm basically just following what they're saying to try to get the numbers that they're getting, the same ways they're approaching that. And then I'm just grinding them thicker blades. So it should be even tougher than what they're getting. So because of the grind, that's more or less what I get at. And you can make a big old, you know, debate and stink about why you do this or why you do that. But to me, I'm just, they've done the homework. I'm just following the people in front of me. As a tattoo buddy of mine used to say, hey, you're all just walking on the shoulders of giants. So like, you might as well just follow the people that have been before you. It's like, I'm pretty much an against the grain kind of guy. But in this particular case, I want to walk right with the grain and follow the guys who know more than I do and have done their homework and already questioned and tested and all. I'm just following the leaders, man. In this particular case, it just makes way more sense, right? All right, so let me wrap it up this week. I hope y'all have a great week. Coming up on 4th of July pretty soon here. So I'm thinking I might do a 4th of July giveaway. We'll see. We'll see. All right, y'all be cool. Later, y'all.